sit here in the opening minutes of this matchup in Austin, Texas. Off the Gary serve, there's a Texas ace.
TCU extremely out of system. Usually they are a very strong serve, receive, pass, not so much early in this set. You can clearly see the nerves are rattling off right now, but this TCU's gone through it a few times. Do not think this will last long.
The best start Jared Elliott could have asked for. We talked about TCU's history in this building, 0-13 all-time Texas, and Jared Elliott just one loss in program history to TCU. But the officials right now involved in a quick discussion here with both coaches.
You see Tori Stafford's the one talking to Jared Elliott, and only captains can go to the up rep. That just shows you the trust that he's already given Stafford the keys to his team her first year here in Austin.
So play ready to resume. The Jason Williams squad has already seen a roller coaster of a season unfold. They came into the season ranked in the preseason polls for the first time in history, but in just their second match of the season lost their senior leader, Jalen Gibson. A lot of teams would have folded early on at that point, but they have responded by ripping off 5 wins against ranked teams. Swindle, tapped over by Aiden Ames, sophomore middle. There's Evan Hendricks. Diving in was Emma Halter and the freshman Spears. Beckett Kelly. Swindle. Here comes Spears. And that touched hands. 5-0 Texas.
Texas is refusing to let the ball drop, but look at that triple block already to begin with, and nothing's going right for TCU. Spears is coming in with all the power and momentum from that approach.
Now a timeout called by TCU. And we will have a challenge. The initial call was that it did touch a TCU player.
And TCU is going to have to figure out a way during this challenge to make the ball drop on Texas's side. They're looking at the pancake probably when Emma Halter and Aiden Ames went to the ground. Yeah, right here. So Aiden got the second touch. Emma and Kari Spears both on the ground, putting their hands. Effort was great.
After review, the pancake was successful.
Yeah.
The play is confirmed. TCU will lose their challenge.
Good call. It did look like there was a touch. If anything, Jason Williams got that momentum to hopefully slow down for his side from Texas.
And so in the opening moments of this contest, Jason Williams and TCU lose a challenge there as the call stands.
Very early in the match to lose one of your only 2 challenges. Again, you get a third going into the 5th set, but that's a big loss when you're down like this.
If you win the challenge, you retain it. You lose it, it's gone.
Up.
Emma Halter was there defensively. And there is Tori Stafford on the attack. Two-time All-American.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. Defense turning to offense for Texas. And for Halter, that's just reaction. That's reflexes. And for Stafford, that's power and talent. Texas has it all right now.
All with Gary serving to start the match. Go back to Beckett Kelly, tools the block, and there's the first point of the night for TCU.
Good eye by Kelly. She saw Aiden Ames was in the right position with her footwork, but not her hands. Her hands were a little bit off the net, causing that tool to roll down right in front of her.
Here's the Big 12 Rookie of the Week, Samara Coleman, one of the top recruits in the nation coming out of the Houston area. Aiden Ames off the block.
You gotta love when the setter goes to her hitter who made the last error. I really like the fact that Swindle found Ames. Wasn't even the best set, but she forced it to her middle to give Aiden Ames redemption for that block.
Emma Halter, the senior libero, serving. Beckett Kelly off hands. There is Halter. Look at that patented dump that Ella Swindle pulls off 8-1.
Ella Swindle tied for the most kills for Texas right now. The second time she's called her number in this match. 2 kills for her so far. You gotta love the energy that brings the rest of the 5 on the team.
That overhead scoop by Swindle, but that one put away. Nice response by Sarah Sylvester, the senior middle.
Sylvester's trying to hit cross more. Jason Williams in the spring challenged her to hit different areas of the court, change it up every hit.
Alice Volpe serving, sophomore, top 3 in the Big 12 in digs. And TCU trying to weather the storm early on. Spears was up there forever.
Spears might be more lethal from the back row than she is the front. Look how much real estate she takes up with that approach, looking like she's a front row player, giving her even more power.
Swindle serving. Sylvester puts it down. Sarah Sylvester, a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week after coming up with 11 blocks against Texas A&M last week with the offensive play there. Rosemary Archer serving, a transfer out of Pepperdine. Coming off a breakout season a year ago, that one too far. If you're Jason Williams, he's known for having a calm, steady presence. What are you telling your team right now?
Well, you're telling your team to be aggressive from the service line because that's one of the best things TCU does. The first week of play, they were one of the best serving teams in the nation. They cannot afford an error that early.
Horned Frogs trying to respond. Stafford was there. Another freshman for Texas, Abby Vanderwall with the kill.
Vanderwall pulled pretty in between the out in the middle. Great job getting that corner.
The Texas freshman accounting for nearly half of their kills so far this season, and there's an ace by Tori Stafford. She is fired up.
TCU cannot stop the bleeding right now. Everything is going their way. Stafford at the service line, extending that lead, trying to hold on to the ball as long as she can.
Texas's second ace, Stafford putting up the best numbers of her career so far in a Longhorns uniform. There's the Texas block. There's another freshman for Texas getting her second straight start, number 10 for the Longhorns, Taylor Harvey, the #1 middle blocker recruit in the nation. Just an embarrassment of riches as far as these talented freshmen for Texas, but there's the service error.
TCU trying to reset. Their Achilles heel is that first touch. When TCU can get a good pass, that's when great things happen. They cannot afford to be out of system right now against Texas.
Evan Hendricks, reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. There is the freshman for Texas, Harvey.
Swindle and Harvey already looking so connected. That middle setter connection is the last to come.
Point went to TCU. And so Hendricks serving again. 32 kills against Missouri, the most by any player in the nation over a 4-set match. But a little too much on that one. And aggressive serving results in another service error. Texas by 9.
Jason Williams said, when we slow down our speed, that's when we get vulnerable. You see TCU really struggling to speed and get that fast tempo offense.
Here's Anya Kujundjic, junior transfer out of VCU. Well, right now, the Longhorns hitting 700 in the opening set. And TCU at zeros up to this point. Lauren Murphy, powerful transfer brought in from Ohio State. Dangerous server as well. Here's Vanderwall. Set it up for Coleman. Weems had to reach for that one just to get a piece of it. Hendricks from the back row. Hendricks fights that one off. Spears took a little something off of it. Becca Kelly on the attack. Nice rally going here in the first. Vanderwall off the block. Hendricks. And the point goes to Texas.
Kelly was all in the net, and you could really see that she knew that. She got off the ground when that ball was already over her shoulder. Not too much time to pull off. Just got to try and tip it over.
Well, here is the reigning SEC Player of the Week and now two-time SEC Freshman of the Week, Kari Spears. Becca Kelly busy here in the first set. Here comes Evan Hendricks, one-handed. Nice play by Stafford. Hendricks pushing it off the block. Abby Vanderwall with the point for Texas.
Vanderwall with the kill, but how many one-handed digs did Texas get in this rally? They are refusing to let the ball hit the ground. TCU has to figure out a different way. Texas's defense is flying everywhere.
15 digs already for Texas. There is service error number 3 for the Longhorns.
Texas hitting 444, TCU hitting below 0. So everything is just complete opposite right now. From the offense to the defense, Texas has 15 digs, TCU only has 8 so far.
Ella Foti, senior transfer from Marquette, serving. She had barely played setter in her entire career, but being asked to do so this year with the Horned Frogs. Another service error, however, for TCU. I mean, Jason Williams told us, listen, we have to be aggressive from the service line. Right now, still trying to break through there. Texas went on that big run to start the match with Ramsey Gary serving. Here she is again. Just misses. Teams trading service errors.
And to your point, TCU is usually a really good serving team. That's the first thing opponent coaches say about them. They were, from the first week, lights out behind the service line. They're really trying to find that fight again.
First time Texas and TCU have squared off since 2023. The Longhorns last year in the Big 12. Horned Frogs with the point, 17-9.
Coleman getting a little lucky. She creeped up really far, looking at Aiden Ames' swing. Ames saw that, tried to go deep, just got a little too far out.
Samara Coleman lit up the Aggies last week. 19 kills, hit .457 against A&M. Flying in is Spears. Too much power by the freshman.
Kari Spears is 6'3", up against a 5'9" outside. She already has that power, that momentum. TCU has to be ready to defend the first touch block.
And there is an ace for Emma Halter and the Longhorns, up by 10. Halter now with 91 aces in her career. The only player on the Texas roster who has played in every single match over the last 4 years. Just a rocket libero as that one misses wide.
Kelly looking frustrated, but that was a great line shot. She dropped that thumb, shoved it right at her sophomore year, got a national championship for Texas, and she stuck with Jarrett Elliott. She said, I want to stay here at Texas. And you can see how much work she has done, not just right now, but all that from the sophomore year coming in as well.
Yeah, they had some tough conversations for the past few years. She had the monster freshman year, winning a national championship, but as you said, split time with Avery Carlson a year ago. Stuck it out, looks better than ever. Out of the timeout, point by Tori Stafford.
TCU is so talented, but they cannot get away with not pressing up against the block. And as you see Ellis Wendell's career, the drastic of those 2 years in numbers.
By the way, a dynamic blocker as well. Part of her game gets overlooked. 6'3", sent down with ease by Tori Stafford, and Texas just dominating this opening set. 5-0 run. Longhorns hitting .455. Halter. Hendricks trying to get going, and she comes up with the point.
That's Evan Hendricks' first kill of the match. So many matches this season, she has led the Horned Frogs in kills, but right now it's just so hard for TCU to score against the Texas defense.
She had nearly 70 swings in her last match. 6 so far tonight. Stafford off the block. Tori Stafford putting up a career high in kills per set and digs per set so far this year.
Sylvester looking really frustrated. Look at this block, how it touches her hands, but not slowed down enough. The back row not able to help get that ball up.
This has been one of the Longhorns' most complete sets of the young season so far. That one skimming off of Gary, however, point TCU.
Hendricks finding different ways to score. And TCU is really good at being out of system, but when you're playing this number 2 team in Texas, you cannot be out of system and expect to win this much.
Rosemary Archer, 7 aces this season. And set point on the way for Texas. Spears up to 4 kills on 5 swings. Set point with Stafford serving. Misses the mark.
Never want to miss a serve, especially set point, but Tori Stafford's had a pretty good match so far, and Texas has earned that leash.
Set point number 2 for Texas with Hendricks serving for TCU. Just kept alive, but unable to send it over as TCU, and the Longhorns take the opening set 25-12.
Against